Welcome! Each week I scan the world's press and meteorological agencies to see what reports there are of interesting weather and other similar sorts of events there have been around the world. This video is a summary of those reports and covers the period from the 20th to the 26th of July 2019. I hope you will enjoy it. Well, let's start with the 20th of July and reports that a strong winter storm hits Australia. Now it is winter there, but this storm hit Tasmania and Victoria particularly hard. It produced snow, hail and strong winds that brought down a lot of trees. Now 3 people were killed and 1 is still missing. On that same day, a typhoon called Danas hit South Korea with heavy rains and strong winds. It forced the closure of the airport and coastal ferry services. However, fortunately, it dissipated very quickly after making landfall, so did a minimal amount of damage. I'm sure we've all heard over the years about the loss of the bee population. A similar phenomenon is now being reported in Russia, where 27 regions just south of Moscow are particularly badly affected. Russia has a very large honey industry, producing 250,000 tons of honey every year. French honey production is also down. The 20th of July seems a very busy day for weather. Strong storms hit the northern parts of the United States, leaving over 500,000 people without power after many trees came down. The damage was reported in South Dakota, Wisconsin and Minnesota. On the 21st of July, wildfires were reported in Portugal. Strong winds and high temperatures were responsible, with temperatures up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. A place called Castelo Branco, 145 northeast of Lisbon, seemed to be the worst affected. The fires are still burning out of control and 20 people are injured, 1 with serious burns. They've had to evacuate several villages as a result of these fires. A deadly heat wave has gone on and on in most of the United States. The heat wave that is affecting most of North America and it's continued into its 6th day. 6 people are reported dead as a result, 4 in my native state of Maryland. Nearly 200 million people, that's 2/3 of the US population, are under an excessive heat warning. Unusually high temperatures from Arizona all the way up into Canada. A lightning storm hit some beachgoers in Florida. This happened in Clearwater, Florida. 8 were injured, 1 was seriously injured and subsequently died. A church was also destroyed. And there's a very simple rule of thumb with lightning. When you hear the roars, go indoors. Now, basically that means that if you can hear thunder, you're already within range of lightning striking you. So as soon as you hear thunder, get out of the open and go indoors. On the 22nd of July, a landslide blocked a river in Canada. It was called the Fraser River, and it meant that the salmon who were trying to swim upstream in order to get to their spawning grounds couldn't get there. So there is now a salmon airlift underway. They're catching the salmon and airlifting them to above where the river is blocked. A glacier in Iceland has disappeared. It's the first glacier in Iceland to lose its status as a glacier, and the reason for that is there's insufficient snow falling on it now for it to accumulate ice at its base, and it's no longer moving. So now it's basically a snowfield. The Icelanders have raised a plaque to memorialize the loss of this glacier and the fact that many glaciers around the island and in fact around the world are diminishing because of the rising global temperatures. Most places across the United States have had more than enough rain for the year. In fact, several of them have already passed their annual totals. Here are some examples. This follows a very wet year in 2018, so this is causing major flooding problems across the country. We have a problem with Sargassum seaweed again. It's in bloom from the west coast of Africa to the Gulf of Mexico, and some of it is piling up on Mexico's most popular tourist beaches, producing a very unpleasant smell as it rots. It's been very expensive to clean up. Some places have spent nearly $3 million to clean the beaches of this stuff. The explosion of this seaweed is likely due to the change in ocean circulation patterns brought on by increasing ocean temperatures. Lightning has started a series of wildfires in the west. Lightning produced wildfires in Nevada. The Summit fire burned over 6,000 acres already. A state of emergency was declared in Flagstaff, Arizona, and mandatory evacuations have been ordered in several places. I don't just record high temperature events, I also record low temperature events, and here's one of them. Rain and cold and strong winds hit Johannesburg in South Africa this week. There have been snows up in the mountains above the city, and the power grid is having problems keeping up with the demand, causing several power outages. Europe is suffering another heat wave. New high temperature records being set all over the place. It's been striking France, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium and the UK. It's so hot that there was fear that the heat would cause parts of the weakened structure of Notre Dame to collapse, although that didn't come to pass. Temperatures over 40 degrees centigrade, that's greater than 105 degrees Fahrenheit, have been recorded, and that's steadily moving east. And so far, 168 weather stations broke their high temperature record. You don't usually expect to get rip currents on lakes, but this is in fact the case. A strong rip current forced the closure of several beaches along Lake Huron. 2 people drowned as a result. One was a 29-year-old woman whose body was not yet found, and an 18-year-old man which died trying to rescue some children who were in distress. While Europe baked, some parts of the United States were suffering record cold. Now, the temperatures aren't really that cold, but nonetheless. New daily record lows were set in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, of 63 degrees Fahrenheit. The record was 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Records also fell in Kansas City, Austin, Springfield, San Antonio, Memphis, and Little Rock. It's been a hot month in California. July is the warmest month on record in California's history, and the avocado crop is suffering. Prices for avocados have nearly doubled, and many restaurants are now substituting squash in their guacamole to save money. So that's all the news about this week. Please pass this link on to friends and family if you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that this report came out late, but I'd actually completed it last weekend and just forgot to post it. Don't worry, it gets worse as you get older. So until next week, stay safe. Bye for now.